Hey everyone, I'm Trent. Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you in the next 3 minutes how I color grade basically any footage, whether it's my client work or my personal work or for this YouTube channel or literally anything else, because this simple process that I worked through and you can steal it for yourself. I'm not going to cut the video. We're going to hop right in Premiere Pro, which is on the screen now. I'm in the color section of the program, right? The color window. You can choose whatever window works best for you. I'm just doing this so you guys can follow along if you're going to choose to follow along. Like I said, we're going to color grade this 3 minutes flat. Let's set a timer. Let's set it for 3 minutes, 2 seconds. Go ahead and put the phone down, all right? Ready, set, go. All right, so 3 minutes on the clock. What do we need? We need a conversion LUT. So I have a conversion LUT folder right here. I'm gonna go ahead and just get an input LUT, browse, wait for that. Sometimes the computers are slow. Choose my input LUT. This is what I'm gonna go with. Right there, perfect. Come on, stop lagging on me, computer. Oh, I chose the wrong footage. That might make sense. Okay, we're actually gonna go back to here. I'm gonna choose the footage here, right click, go to modify, color. Time is stressing me out here. That is the correct one. No, this is the correct one right here. Perfect. All right, it's been converted from Rec 709, or it's been converted from log to Rec 709. I'm gonna save that. Now I'm going to do some exposure adjustments. So drop down the exposure a little bit, highlights a little bit. I'm gonna bring down the shadows. I want a little bit like more grungy look. Maybe bring the blacks up a little bit. Get a good of curves. Drop the shadows. Raise the highlights. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. We'll go to creative too. With just the faded film right in this. Normally I do it on an adjustment layer. It's fine. And then we're gonna correct the white balance. That's white. There we go. That looks good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and copy this because that's the trick, right? You get one good color grade. You can just copy it to other things. Let's find another shot that works. This shot is the same type of footage. There we go. Let's go ahead and adjust this a little bit more, bring up the exposure, tiny bit. Here we go, different types of shot completely, but it has been converted. I want to bring the shadows up. It's too dark in the car. And bring the whites down, the highlights down, the exposure up, saturation up a little bit too, blacks down a little bit, curves panel. Let's balance that out. Let's actually just bring a point up in the middle here. That looks bad, that looks bad, that looks bad. We're gonna do that. There we go. And faded film, we're gonna turn that off because we don't wanna lose detail there. Then copy that color grade. And I'm gonna go to every shot that has something similar like this. And we're gonna do that. Perfect, now that's been converted. I don't need this stuff over here. Oh crap, I don't need that. Now I'm gonna go down here in my project panel, go to new item, adjustment layer, enter. I don't need to name it right now. I'm gonna drag it on top of there, drag it across all the footage. We're going to make sure it looks good on this one. I think that's a little good because it's green and it's like a little bit different than the rest of them, so we can balance out how much color is gonna be affected. On the shadows, I think I want the shadows to actually be in the yellows. Mid-tones, we're gonna bring the blues a little bit, or actually, let's bring it to the pinks a little bit. Just a tiny bit more towards the red magenta region. And then highlights, if my computer stops lagging. All right, right about there is probably good. And if we turn this off, before, after, and then creative, I'm going to go to the shadow tint and bring it to probably more yellows, and then we'll bring the highlights to blues a little bit. Just for that contrast. Again, there's so much you can do to this. Let's go ahead and, okay, we're done. We're done. That's the whole color grade, whatever. Nothing's been cut. You can see that. It was 3 minutes flat that I went ahead and color graded all the footage and color corrected all the footage. Now, there are other things you can do, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do just, afterwards, like it's like final, prepping. But let's take a look. First shot, before the grade, after the conversion, right? I corrected it, and then I graded it, and same for this shot here. So turn the grade off. That's converted from log to Rec 709. That's conversion LUT thing I did over here, right? Color corrected, just got the shadows up a tiny bit, balanced the highlights out a little bit. Could have been better, but again, 3 minutes flat, this is acceptable. And then I'm gonna turn the color grade back on, right? And it's got this yellowish vibe to it. It does match, I think, the vibes between those two shots. I think they're actually decently balanced, all things considered. Would I have gone with this colorway or color palette if I had more time to think about it? I might adjust some things and get rid of how much yellow it is. I think the shadows have a little bit too much yellow in them, but I'm saying the 3 minute thing because it doesn't take long to make something that looks pretty good when you color grade it, if you know what you're doing, right? I converted the footage from log to Rec 709, right? After that, I color corrected and balanced the highlights and shadows and used the curves panel a little bit. brought down my shadows, brought up the highlights, did all that, right? I balanced it to make the footage look a little bit more even. And then I just color graded on an adjustment layer above the stuff so it would affect everything below it. You can balance this out more, right? I don't need to stick with this super dark yellow. The shadows, again, have too much yellows. Let me just back them out. I just double click that, it goes away. And then this last shot, right, has a bit less light in it than that one. So I think it actually would benefit us to keep some consistency, to bring the shadows up, highlights up, and the whites up a little bit. That way that shot kind of matches that shot a bit more. Sure, the sunlight was different, but the exposure is pretty similar. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this adjustment layer, bring it on top, and I'm gonna add, you know, some halation to it. I'll go to my effects, and then I went ahead and I have my halation, you know, preset you can download once again from the description. Drag it on top of there. I can move these two up. I'm gonna go ahead and move all these down so they're single layered. Copy all that, hold Alt and drag it up. And then I'm gonna add bloom to all of these actually. And then there we go. We have a little bit of halation and bloom in the highlights, right? It looks really nice and just a little glowier. And that's it. But if you guys want to learn more in depth about color grading and actually understand the process and thoughts behind everything I did and much more, you can go right here on the screen. There's a link somewhere or in the description or in the top comment, something like that, where you can watch the full-length video, very detailed, very broken down on how everything works from zero to finish on the color grading process, at least in Premiere Pro. Okay, cheers.
I'm drowning in fire, even if it's just inside my head. I wanna expire